Hello, and welcome to another episode of my Rising Nations Let's Play. This is Northstar. Now, I'll let you watch this trailer while I talk for a tiny bit. It's more interesting than staring at this title screen, at least, and I think it's a cool trailer. I will be finishing up my Conquer the World campaign attempt as Japanese. Didn't work out great. I realized a few things, including Japan's damage bonus for barracks units is only against buildings, so they're not actually that great. They do get cheaper barracks units as they scale in ages. Beyond very early when you're starting a battle, resources become not that limited pretty quick if you can develop your economy. Make them not that strong a nation in the long run, because a very early game, they only get a small bonus to cost. In the late game, you don't need the cost reductions as much. Unless things go on for so long, it becomes a war of attrition. And when the costs start to really increase due to having built so many in the same game, at that point, Japan would shine, but I would rather avoid such a long drawn-out war of attrition. So I'll probably be doing another attempt as a different nation. It was very hard to do Kamchatka into Yukon. You guys remember, I actually lost trying to take Yukon. It's partly because Japan wasn't well suited for it. The British would be better at that, for instance. When they build barracks, by that age, they're getting 3 free units each barracks, which is actually worth more than the cost of the barracks itself, and it saves a lot of time building units, leading to you spam a lot of barracks for each free units for nothing but the cost of wood. And you can build enough of an army to not get wiped early, and then you can develop your economy to the point where you don't need to care that the British late game bonuses are weaker than Japan's. Also, I do not like how fast the Conquer the World campaign is, how few turns you have, and how you can miss entire ages if you sit idle for a bit. So I've created a mod, a new Conquer the World campaign, that is 1/4 the speed. There's 4 times as many turns per age. I've uploaded it to Steam Workshop as a mod so others can enjoy it. It's a tiny bit more complex than just downloading the mod. You need to download it, move files to 2 folders, and then you're set to play. So I'll be doing that next, and then I think I might apply the same principles that I used to create that mod to edit the Cold War campaign, and add to the number of turns at the end without changing the time to advanced information age, because that'll screw up the intended early game balance. But I don't like how the Cold War just ends abruptly. Historically, the Soviet Union collapsed, but it wasn't doing too hot in the Cold War at that point. It collapsed because it wasn't winning. Although it was economically catch up to the US, it had a smaller gap than when it started, relatively speaking. And I think in absolute terms it may have grown, but in its relative size of its economy, it was bigger. But it was still behind, and yeah. If I was playing as the Soviets, which I would, and presumably by the standard end date would be ahead of the US, though not maybe at the victory point yet. And I don't think the Cold War would have ended if the Soviets were ahead of the US by 1980s. Instead, they probably would have Cold War would have continued, and if the Soviets pulled further ahead, they would have eventually won instead. So I'll probably create a revised version. It won't be quite the same, because I'll make it the same number of turns to each information age, but I'll add to the number of turns in info age. That will mean I'll run out of spy missions doing such, but I hate how the Cold War, from what I've remembered and even seen guides, you have to just continuously expand, or you can't make the victory conditions on time. It's because there aren't enough turns. You should be able to, it's a Cold War, you should be able to take it a little more at your leisure. There's no magical end date to the Cold War historically. It didn't have to end when it did. Could have easily extended to 2010s, 2020s. If the Soviets were pulling ahead at the US wouldn't have gone up so easy, especially after being ahead for a long time before then. The the Soviets had at least matched the U.S. by 19, and I'm sure a few years earlier, because it was too late by then, but like 84, let's say, I'm sure that the Cold War would have extended 30, 40 more years. And if that trend had even been achieved, probably the Soviets would have won at that point. So that's a little preview of stuff, but I'll still continue this. I've gotten a little sense of each ages. When I was modifying stuff and testing my campaigns, I accidentally started an Alexander the Great thing. I can't seem to get this continue button to disappear, even by deleting all the autosaves. It created a backup, that's why. Yes, delete. It's still there, though. I don't know what's going on with that. Just delete all the autosaves and maybe it'll... I doubt it. No. Just... What save is it loading? Nope, none. Good. That continue button was bothering me. Of course I got rid of the entire world autosave, but I have a manual save. So, that's fine. Anyways, I did that when I accidentally selected that one. I was trying to figure out how to do the custom campaign before I figured out there was a drop-down menu. I accidentally started an Alexander one. I'm not going to do an Alexander run. I don't have one ongoing, and I'm not intending to. I am going to do another campaign. I'm most likely going to go as the British ability to get free initial archery, later gunpowder units with Barracks is very powerful for not getting wiped early and conquer the world. I don't know if I'd use it in a custom match, where it's just a skirmish battle or whatever. I'd probably play as the Dutch then, because the Dutch have a really nice bonus, but it's not good in the early game. It takes time to scale, but it's very good in the late game. The Bantu would be another late game contender. They have double the pop cap for everyone else, which is why I hate there's all these mods. Double the pop cap. I swear these are people who like the Bantu bonus, but just don't want to play as the Bantu because of racism or something. If you want double the pop cap, play as the Bantu. The game is balanced around that. I don't really like the eliminating the strengths of a certain nation like that. I will change the conquer the world, even though I know that screws up the balance a little, the speed, because I don't like arbitrary endpoints to games. When I do a Civ 4 Let's Play, which I'll get around to, you'll notice I'll always turn off the automatic end date. For Civ 6, I also own that, though I don't have all the DLC. I may eventually do that. I don't like games that arbitrarily end at a certain point. Who's to say history has ended? It hasn't in our world, despite an arrogant, actually Japanese political scientists writing a book called The End of History, claiming that because the U.S. won the Cold War, history was over. It's bullshit. It's not neoliberalism. The system he declared had won and taken over the world, which isn't even capitalism. It's specifically capitalism with minimal welfare systems and such. So it ignores the existence of like the Nordic democracies, which are social democracies, which are still persevering just fine. Maybe they're losing ground to neoliberalism, but they're still around, and they may yet win in the long run. Neoliberalism is showing its cracks now. The U.S. system is falling apart. The British austerity and turning more towards neoliberalism is crushing their nation. History is not over. Capitalism may yet fall, and socialism replace it. Just because the Soviets lost, and the Soviet Union was a bad experiment in socialism that didn't live up to its potential, does not mean history is over. It absolutely is not. I thought I traded with the Chinese for Siberia, but I guess I didn't save. Let's check this Conquer the World battle. Maybe this was after I did it. Yes, it was. I traded for Siberia, traded Kamchatka, which does no resources for Siberia, had to throw in some tribute because the Chinese correctly realized Siberia was a more viable province. And if the Chinese get crushed in Kamchatka, by the Lakota, I'll take Kamchatka back. I can't push across the strait to the Yukon, but that doesn't mean I can't hold Kamchatka. Not that it really matters, except for what the map looks like at the end of this game. I'll lose because I didn't conquer the world in time for the arbitrary end date. But I'm fighting the Turks for control of this, and I get a little more experience with the Information Age. I forget what province this is. I think this is the Caucasus or something. So it'll give me a little more experience in these modern ages before starting a new campaign, which would be slower and take longer to actually get there. Why is Kiev my capital? I'm playing as the Japanese, not as the Russians or Ukrainians. Maybe because I'm attacking out of Siberia into what could be considered probably Ukraine, right? Does it show somewhere? Yep, Japanese. Didn't change my nation or anything. So I do get a discount on military barracks units with military tech, and they are more effective against buildings. And they're discounted and they build cheaper, but it's not worth. Huh. Well, this seems pretty U.S.-centric. Military-industrial complex stepped to Homeland Security, which is the name of a U.S. agency. Electronic warfare, precision weapons, unified armed services, universal military service. Well, that's not something the U.S. does. If that's referred to a conscription requirement. Nuclear physics, genetics, quantum mechanics, microchips, astrophysics, laser technology, and fiber optics. Superhighways, fiscal regulation, satellite communications, recycling, free trade, internet, and wireless tech. Automatically assuming that free trade is the way of the future? No. It's nonsense. Since there are reasons you don't want trade to be completely free. Among others, the environmental impact of doing certain economic activities in different countries varies and is almost never incorporated in just the cost in a trade sense. People have quickly pointed out there's also differences in labor rates between countries. It creates a race to the bottom if you have completely free trade. Of course, tariffing everything to death is also stupid. Like many things, moderation is the real answer. Though the neoliberal free market fanatics hate that idea. Civil rights, urban renewal, government ethics, public opinion, bipartisanship. Okay, this is some serious centrist neoliberal bullshit. Just like the Cold War ending arbitrarily. Bipartisanship? No. If a choice is between, say, a fascist party that wants to kill people and a more left-wing party that wants to lift people up, middle ground is not unacceptable. There isn't always common ground, and bipartisanship really works for corporations and those who don't want anything to change. Conservation and New World Order, literally a fascist or maybe neoliberal. New World Order. Listen to that. That's literally what people would call the Third Reich. Sometimes, yeah, I'm going to say this is some serious neoliberal bullshit. But let's see if I can not get wiped. The Turks have 2 armies. I have 3 armies. 1 defense and 2 reinforcements, so I might get wiped pretty quick if I don't get a lot of units fast. And I have very little familiar with the modern age units. Armored cavalry, which this is a problem with many games like this. They fight as just light tanks. In real world, armored cavalry represents like mechanized vehicles that deploy infantry. Think APCs. Fast, moderately armored vehicles that can fire while moving. Can also represent light tanks. stuff like that. But real armored cavalry in the real world, it's armored vehicles that deploy infantry. Infantry are still the basis of such units. Assault infantry, powerful rapid-firing foot troops, strong versus bazooka, anti-tank missile, weak versus tanks and machine guns. So machine guns are still around. Anti-tank missiles, powerful to slow and accurate long range. Armor piercing attack. This seems very much US centric. Yes, the US has excellent anti-tank missiles, like in the Javelin. And we know now that stuff like drones are often a more effective weapon against tanks. Elite special forces. Yeah, this is all built on the US military and the idea that it's the pinnacle of what can be achieved. That's nonsense. It's not so far off. A lot of these things are basic principles of modern warfare. But armored cavalry in particular, even the US armored cavalry, they represent APCs. So sometimes the APCs are used aggressively because of lobbying. And people selling Bradley fighting vehicles, armored fighting vehicles, as a cheaper tank, which they're not. They're meant to support infantry. Armored cavalry units are units based on infantry in the real world. Alright, I need a temple because that'll buff my city, and then I'll have to go pretty quickly to, this only costs wood and wealth. Couple citizens. Oh, game speed's at normal, which is actually way too fast. This whole game seems to be designed around a playstyle. Do everything fast, fast games, fast rounds, fast conquer the world campaigns. It assumes people have a short attention span, and to be fair, from what I've seen with gamers, a great many gamers do have exceedingly short attention spans, so they're actually not so far off, but maybe it shouldn't be catered to all the time. Of course, the scout is going in a nonsense direction, but I don't have time to micromanage it. I need to focus on getting my barracks up quick. I don't have time to wait on this. And so I'll build one more, but I think the next one can wait till that's done. Should be a little cheaper because military tech always discounts units, the scaling of units with numbers. Get the farms online because really my commerce limit is always 70, which I'm already at. Guess I'll be doing buildings till commerce tech. No, super highways. I need. Let's see. Close to my limit for most things. I need metal, so actually that's what I'll do. I'll start right on super highways. I'm definitely gonna need higher production of food and wood to produce enough barrack units to not get wiped. Yeah, the music resets like that. If I knew the hotkeys, I wouldn't have to pause to find the right one. Put this here. It's the shortest walking path. So 3 farms was already the limit. But they're about to finish with that, so it's fine. I didn't waste much. I could do one more citizen, but I'd probably just bear off with the granary. Oh, I need genetics for that. Oh well, I gotta get the metal online. Okay. That's not going to be nearly enough. In fact, the reason these are so far forward is I'll need timber harvesting here. They're going to wipe me soon if I'm not careful. Cost of military research reduced. I'll definitely need that. I already have furs, so I probably didn't stack the bonuses. So oil, furs. For that, this guy needs to get right to work on barracks. And then I'll need a lumber mill here, which is why these guys are so far forward. A little further. In the battle for the Yukon, I made a mistake of putting my cav too far forward, and they got wiped by anti-tank weapons very quick. Anti-tank missiles should be even more effective than anti-tank guns were. Infantry with anti-tank rifles, which this is the first game I've seen actually represent that. Very often anti-tank rifles are incorrectly omitted from military systems and games as if they weren't a thing. And they are a thing. Need more wood if I'm even going to get the barracks online. Counterinsurgency warfare. Right. Universal military service, building on that because you need lots of people to beat down an insurgency. Yeah, this is very US-centric. But I need the faster production military units, which military tech gives the Japanese. I have a shot at this battle. Right, now I gotta get that barracks up. What's the cap for lumber? Just gotta build, and then he'll end up going working in the mines. Need at least one person on that oil field. Time for barracks, or two. Don't know if I have enough of an economy to keep two occupied yet. Also need a temple to upgrade cities' health and stuff, and then I'm gonna need some towers, because I probably will get pushed back by the first when the enemy gathers armies and attacks. Faster construction with tobacco. Guess this idea of smoke breaks. Tobacco being a stimulant keeps people working longer, harder, faster. It's not inaccurate, I'll admit. And the barracks got give up to a large city. A senate would raise my commerce cap cheaply and and get me a general effectively. Yeah, I'll do that. If I take Republic, I my playstyle is Japan seems to be republican to monarchy, so essentially a constitutional monarchy. One more reason I should probably play the British. From a roleplay perspective, that it's a British thing. Okay, I didn't build this for nothing. Advanced machine gun costs wealth. Oh, I don't have the ability to do that yet, but I can do it in assault infantry. Like even with 20% faster construction, it would take 15 units. Built for the 20% reduction in speed. I mean 20%. Well, no, it's 20% faster, so it might be. Yeah, it would take 15 units before the extra Japanese build speed would catch up to one barracks. 15 units from a given barracks to catch up with the British 3 free infantry, and then of course these cost more in the barracks. Of course, the units just get more expensive with each age. In earlier eras, that's not necessarily true, but yeah. The British are very much better imperialists than the Japanese. Surprise, surprise. I'll mark it because I'll need wealth for machine guns. And a temple. In fact, no, I don't have the wood to build Emperor, darn. Also, I could sell excess stuff. As I build buildings, I get closer to turning this into a major city, which has a bit more in the way of stats. Spread these guys out so the infantry can just march right up there as they get built. Alright. Can't quite do a temple yet. The mines, camps, they're all at capacity. I'll send the nearest guy to build another farm. And shoot, I need an oil well, but I'm sure it would. I can't buy or sell resources yet either. Darn it. Don't have the commerce cap for more wood. Guess I need is another mine. Nope, can't even do that. Well, university. Knowledge is going to be necessary for some of the text. I'm going to have to. This is just. Come on. Oh, almost enough for. I know I'll need an auto plant and oil, so. Let's get an oil well built. I don't know if I'll let all 3 guys work on it. I think I've seen it sometimes only 1. Yeah, not only would it take a while to catch up and build speed to the British, I don't have the resources to even build 3 infantry yet. British definitely harder to get wiped. And if by late game Japan will do better in a war of attrition. I guess all 3 of these guys are working. Get a little food on the farm. Up front. Republic for the commerce cap. It's cheaper than a commerce Commerce Tech, I think. That requires knowledge. Production. So these guys build mine. Once I complete Republic, I'll get a senator. It's like a general. Oil, metal, let me build tanks, but I need actual... These guys just go right to work in mine. Actual auto plant to even do that. All sorts of resources. I still haven't seen a Turkish stack. Maybe they're less aggressive than the Lakota were in trying to wipe me early. Stable units, which I think benefits auto plant units, but so monarchy will. Requires knowledge though, so I'll definitely need university. Stick the elite special forces on a different hotkey. The senator can go here. He's still a general. Armor increase from general. University. Over here. I want temple closer to the city center. Since it's more critical not losing buildings to raids. There's one of the armies. He's gonna get wiped, I'm pretty sure. Let's see if he can snipe someone before he dies. Nope. Surprisingly, he's not dead yet. Maybe if he runs. Nope. Just barely made it. Alive. Maybe you can lead him on a bit of a wild goose chase this way before he dies. Nope, they're coming in. Circle back around and maybe he'll be able to snipe some units who are attacking. Now we need the university for the king, the monarch. Mound combat, that should benefit these. This king is make the center. It's a little better general than the center, basically. Fiscal regulations, I can buy and sell resources and one more economic power. Might need it. Alrighty then. Temple. It's temple time. Also, let me get the taxation tech, though I don't get much tax income yet. The British get more tax income. It's their one of their part of their unique power. So I think it's like double income from taxes, making it much more important consideration for them. Game options. Oh. I always seem to have to shore in the delay when idle citizens going to work. Remember, when you get wealth for building a temple, it's good to know. Taxation requires civics 1. equal rights, and do have enough food for it. Alright, 5 farms. The city. It would also let me build another city, but at this point, I need an auto plant. Or some bunkers. Small cheap fortification. Or a redoubt. Oh, I can afford it, and I know I'm going to be defending. Plus, this will push borders, give me a little more tax income. Let's see if I can hold this far forward long enough to complete the redoubt. It's risky, but it will keep units from attacking my city and disrupting my economy, without which economy there's just no way I can this guy's all working the mines now. Can't produce the units fast enough to not die if I don't have decent economy. A little more wealth, machine gun, which is often better, I think, than most other units. There we go. Advanced machine gun. I hear gunfire. They're leading with an elite. Oh, it's just an elite special forces. Might not even be anything more than that. These missiles will probably damage my own stuff if I'm not careful. With the completion of this redoubt. Learning modern age warfare. Forts are still not completely useless, although they're probably a lot less good. Earlier ages. Get right out, deploying that machine gun. Could use another. Yeah, taxation. Next up, I need an auto plant. Well, this guy isn't dead yet. Oh, yeah, I'll just pull him back to the capital. He's probably gonna. There's probably not many ruins left to explore, anyways. Can we snipe units from the tat? I don't dare do a scholar. It's too much a long-term investment right now. Struggling just to keep up unit production. I need the wealth of machine guns. So let's upgrade generals and clean the center. And this will make the forts have longer range and line of sight. Seems like tactics is more important. Since it's bad for actual combat. marginal things. Let's get an auto plant built. If I can get in range of the city, better. I want it somewhat back. No, actually. All the way back here. These guys are way too far forward and they'll get slaughtered, I think. Might build another barracks further forward though, because infantry are slow moving. There's just no question about that. And they're going to do this nonsense if they move, cover each other, move. It's good in combat, but it doesn't make much sense when you're in an area where there's nothing around hostile. Main battle tank. Strong versus infantry and machine guns. Weak versus heavy infantry, i.e. bazookas. Heavily armored and extremely powerful, difficult to destroy except with heavy weapons. And it uses resources. They have a lot of metal and oil. Cool. Should check if I got any resources for building the barracks. Could probably do artillery pieces of factory, but a SAM installation. You know what, that might be more important if there are enemy bombers who show up here. Just do that. Can't even keep this one barracks to full use yet. Another machine gun. And some tanks. Turks are playing pretty conservatively. They could have probably wiped me very early with their superior forces. They're not doing that. And the longer I have to build up, the less likely I'll get wiped. A missile cell. Nuclear missiles. That might be what they're going in for all I know. Airbase. I have excess of things cost more metal than oil. I got a little extra oil. I guess I can sell a little for wealth for an airbase. Do need another woodcutter's camp. Employ 2 people. And here comes their attack, finally. These guys are getting in the way of the tanks, annoyingly. Come on. Deploy. No good. If you don't deploy. Factory creates artillery units. Sirloin front line units are on to be wiped. Oh, we could have entrenched these guys. Whoops. Too late probably now, but I'll try. Yeah, they're getting wiped so hard. It's not even funny. They don't seem to be doing hot against the tanks. They didn't bring enough anti-tank weapons at least. But my infantry are getting massacred. It's good I invest in tanks, though the cost keeps scaling. Japan doesn't gain particular cost direction for tanks. Keeping upgrades. Can't afford anything right now. So I'm gonna do this. Hurry up in that factory. Keep spending tanks. Now I'm starting to run out of oil. Oh, yeah, and that general seems to be healing. It's that or its supply wagon. This machine gun is not far enough forward to fire very consistently. Some of my infantry are still alive. Huh. Successfully wiped that attacking force. Didn't do well. There's no question that was a rough battle, but not dead. Any battle you can walk away from is, well, not necessarily victory, but it's like the saying, any landing you can walk away from is a good one. Any early game fight. Rocket artillery. Fast moving, firing powerful explosive rockets at very long range against buildings and foot troops or in aircraft. Yeah, rocket artillery. Especially as the tanks keep getting more expensive. These could actually be useful. Apparently anti-aircraft guns can be produced too. Alright, these guys to increase my wood production. My economy is just not strong enough. Is here, I'll produce more people to probably get another city going. Cities are food and wood. Let's see if we have food for more farms. Alright. I can take on genetics now, so we can get granaries. Can't afford to have these guys walking too long, so it's going to be a city very close to the first. Be in range of this oil, though. Timber from the woodcutter's camp. I think it's 5 per, well, woodcutter that can be employed, but someone can employ too. Mexican garrison at the auto plant to heal. Seems to be. They can't garrison most buildings, but they can auto plants. Army cab, actually. Well, infantry, since still necessary to kill anti-tank weapons, even if they do get wiped a lot. Alright. My tanks are the core of the army here. Farms, though. Oil there. I'm actually running out of it. Systems for farms. The thing I have excess of is metal. Which could be used for democracy, but it's better off universal military service. I have a little extra wealth now. I'll do some scholars. Get some oil from the oil well. I think I can do another mine here. Defeat the other side. Nope. Can do a granary though now. Or lumber mill. I like the food for lumber mill. I don't want is the granary applying to the city that's still building its farm, so granary there. Rather. As good as commit farms as they get built. He'll do grain. Boom. 4 farms. Fifth. There we go. System construction duties. Urban renewal. Let me build a 3rd city, but that's about it. It's food. Another granary. Keep increasing food production. diplomacy's caravan. Another market here though for wealth. Some more scholars. So we need to be able to invest in the knowledge. Starting a trade route, give me some wealth. War. Foot and mana troops create faster, and they heal faster. Interesting. Lumber mill, though. Got metal. Haven't built any anti-tank missiles. So here we go. These guys are fully healed. This guy should go back to exploring. Should probably put the infantry in front, even though they're getting chewed up. To tank for the tanks. Har har. Extra builders are going to help with the lumber mill. Huh, aluminum just inside my borders. I think I can keep these furs secure at this point. Oh, that's the library. And just let the market. Merchant. Here's some military service. My military units are getting expensive and I don't have nearly enough. Screen of infantry off this way. Jeez, what is the range on these? Why isn't this thing firing? Oh, because it's not deployed. Of course, they're going right for the redoubt. All these builders. I think, I'm not completely certain, at least some of the woodcutters' camps are considered to be in that range. We'll see if it goes up. 158. Save before I start it. I can't afford a mistake if we win this fight. I think comma is idle military units, which means charged. They need to be. Gotta move in here. Just shoot. Tanks to deal with the armored cav. Since they should be weak against tanks. Those. And these infantry can get up the front. Need more rocket artillery. And more tanks. So some of the cat is healed up. Tanks are durable, but they are dying. Horseman to tank missiles. Need more infantry to deal with that. Shoot, it doesn't look like anything was assigned to this city. That one was a waste. Oh, university, I need knowledge at least. Food commerce cap, how did I reach that? Turks units gain entrenchment. Looks like, I'm not even sure that worked. Oh well. Granary, lumber mill. Temple at least gives a little wealth. Completed. It'll help the city grow. It's not super useful. Need an air base. Aircraft might help the situation in. These guys are too far forward. This center gives healing. My own territory. Urban renewal. Might unlock religion. Should increase national borders a little. Temples also push borders, so they got a little wealth from it here. The city expanding. Sure, if I... That's the library. Merchant here will eventually die, but hopefully it produces enough wealth before it dies. Alright, jet fighter, which requires global prosperity, which is a Finnish tech you can't actually get and conquer the world, I believe. There's no advanced fighters. Strategic bomber, stealth bomber. Requires global prosperity. Okay, that's very US-centric. Nonsense. Fighter aircraft, powerful against enemy aircraft and useful for strafing ground troops. Extremely powerful against seasoned abilities, fast and relatively accurate. Attack helicopters. Versatile aircraft to cover in place, useful for raiding and hunting subs and tanks. Can strafe in place, so that should be more useful against, I would think. Attack helicopter. Alright, and great, these guys are shooting the readout. It has some military value, but city. There. Get some food and wood passively. But, and wealth from pushing borders. A lot more mines. Huh. There's a few tiny lakes in this map. Could build a dockyard if there's any aquatic resources. Got a little excess metal. Sell it so I can get religion sooner, which push borders, more tax income. Brings this oil on my borders if I could defend it. A whole bunch of people preparing this readout. It's pretty slow. Koreans can repair readouts quicker for what the heck it's worth. Satellite communications is just wood and knowledge. It's commerce tech. Produce a little more food. Useful as I'm in this city now. Still have the wealth for that. And knowledge for that. I guess the Patriot gives more healing bonuses, so constantly short of wealth. Caravan time. I can do more farms. Market and trade. Number of caravans you can do increases exponentially. Cities, you can have one with two cities, but three with 3 cities. So trade, flourishing trade. I just don't have the wealth for monarchy, so democracy. Gotta tool what you've got. bullshit about free markets and democracy. That's mostly propaganda. Not to mention, for those who are saying it to criticize socialism, you can in fact have socialist market socialism. Market socialism is still socialism. You just don't allow workplaces to be privately owned. They're owned by workers' cooperatives instead of, and you still use markets to distribute the products of those workers' co-ops. Some people make fun of people who like workers' cooperatives. Oh, you just turn everything to workers' cooperatives. That's not socialism. Actually, yes, it is. The distinguishing, in fact, only feature of capitalism is the private ownership of capital. It's literally in the name. If people didn't try to obfuscate. By capital, that means factories, mines, farms. And by private, that refers to like stockholders, owners. Doesn't necessarily mean government versus not government. If you have workers' cooperatives, that's not government ownership, but it's still socialist. But people don't know what the terms mean, so they bastardize them and mock things because they've been trained on a diet of socialism bad and stuff like that. Steady diet of propaganda. Barracks here, close to the front. Really would have been nice to be doing this as the British. Alright. I guess advanced machine gun. Here comes yet another stack. Looks like the rocket artillery are really pulling their weight though. Glad I built those. And there's the anti-tank missiles. They seem to like putting me at the rear, so they know where my tanks are in advance. And so my infantry have been slaughtered knowingly. Smart, but irritating for me. Looks like I can't micro that level and still not pause this all the time. These guys are gonna get slaughtered if they stay on the open. I don't know if this is under fire. But yeah, it is. So they'll probably start to take damage. Anti-aircraft missiles. Oh, frick me. Let's pull back that attack helicopter until that's dealt with. Probably need to pull back units to heal. I'm probably better off with jet fighters strafing ground troops than science for the upgrades to my productivity. Alright, let's see. What can I build that costs wood and metal? Not much. For armored cav or food and oil, which probably accurately represents that they are infantry with APCs. Saw a little excess wood. Price comes up. Ah, bloody anti-tank missiles. I do use wood for infantry. Need more farmers here. And an enemy fighter. Why is the attack helicopter all the way up there? I send it back here to heal. Must have been chasing an enemy unit or something. It's done that farm already complete. And there goes the fort. Hey, didn't that have... Oh no, the units inside are already dead. Sets up another attack run. Ah! Oops. That's that, because I can't actually do one more additional farmer. I need infantry. Costs go down. They built a second barracks. Does that mean spamming barracks brings down unit costs? That's new to me. Huh, I got wealth for killing their units. read out. Though it did take hits that would have been directed at troops, so I'm not upset. It was a good investment. Just need another. Even if fortifications, the modern era can't do much offensively, and do that here. Aren't even a lot of good. In our super useful, I should say. They can at least take hits that would have been directed at troops. Takes more to destroy a fortification than troops out in the open. This idea they're obsolete is nonsense. The real thing is they're not used by, like, this thing needs to refuel, whatever. What do I have here? Oh, this is. Getting shot at, of course. What was I? The United States doesn't like fortifications because it likes military they can deploy anywhere in the world to bully whatever country it's decided is a threat. Imperialism doesn't benefit a lot from fortifications. But they're cheap to maintain compared to a standing army if you're not attacking countries all the time. There's a real use for them. Architecture increases building hit points. Mine and a smelter. These armored units need to fall back somewhat. At least somewhat. Readout that's a little less far forward. Maybe a little harder to bombard. I do want to tank hits, so that'll do. This wagon needs to heal. The president calls it the Patriot, but it's the president. There's more construction to do. Mine before the smelter does anything. Is that kind of like raised in the city? I'm sure the mines are both. Well, this one's got to be in range of at least. Cycling? Right. Tech for sure. Didn't I build up a second fort somewhere? No, I didn't have the material. Anti-aircraft gun. I do see my share of enemy aircraft coming through here. That implies there's an aircraft doing a raid. Seems to build the aircraft gun just in time. In fact, I might want another. I doubt this will be the last aircraft they fire. Swaps artillery fire faster supply wagon. Well, it might not. With the present, it might not probably extra bonus, but it does tank hits on occasion too. Okay, maybe I tank a few too many hits there. It's probably just explosive splashing, you know. Auto plant further forward. Maybe? No. Cutter's camp. Yeah, no, I'll do an auto plant. Up here, this takes too long. Let's all head back there to heal. Tanks can't garrison units. Oof. Another tank down. It's getting very expensive to produce tanks. Doing it with the cost of out with an extra auto plant. Or if it's only military techs. Oop, wrong key. Nope. Cost is the same. Oh well. At least they can get the tanks out faster now. Heal units faster. Tank siege and vehicle units create faster with forge. Smelter, yeah, cool. An airbase that's a little further forward for faster healing. Yes, please. This one's too far back. This war is gradually shifting in my favor. Of course, I'll probably get nuked or something before I can actually win. Medicine. surprised that tobacco merchant's still alive. Hit that retreating unit. Or, no, this one. Blow it up. Retreating, just regrouping. Looks like the anti-tanks can shoot the helicopter, though. They're aiming for this jet fighter instead. Didn't seem to do well against it. Just able to it. Oh no, it's the anti-aircraft gun there. Let's fall back. Stick a tank in a barracks to heal. Ooh, guess I need the auto plant. Use a couple more jet fighters. Produce some here, actually. Send them to garrison this airbase. Still not fully healed. Alright, I'm running short on oil. By a little. Have the wealth for it now. And there's another one of these elite special forces pricks. You can sabotage my buildings if I'm not careful. Quite need more anti-aircraft guns around since they can spot them. Can't hit civilian units directly, thankfully. Let's hunt it with this attack helicopter. transportation limit. Urgh. Universal Armed Services. I was trying to select this to see how quickly it heal, but whatever. Here to protect this merchant. Small raids or at least delay losses. To push forward soon. Socialism. I don't even call it communism. Socialism. Factory, airbase, and dock units cheaper. Factory is artillery. Airbase is aircraft. Receive plus 100 oil income and 500 oil. Capitalism. And the comrade provides combat bonuses. Also, I have more wealth and metal, so socialism probably it is. At this point, I'm actually running short of metal, surprisingly. Cool when decisions line up with what I'd like to be doing. I need the metal for military techs. Let's get some science. Library, Senate Readout Bunker. Where the upgrades are. Operations at the readout. Allegiance. For attrition. Enemies. You need to refuel. Now I'm starting to run. Maybe I do need the capitals with the oil. Annoying me. Alright. Greenery. Upgrades will be available. Microchips here. Metal alloys. Crop rotation. And log units do with more metal. scholar here. And printing press at the maxed out university. Here. Lots of scholars. Prebble City over here. Seems to be a safe-ish area. Considering all their tax on this. Stupidly. I bet we need free trade. And a smelter. Let's get that done. Metal income once they upgrade commerce. That looks almost like a MiG. Keep going for that, government ethics. Should probably do a reabout here-ish. Can't actually build cities outside your territory. And the tobacco merchant was blown up. Figured that would happen eventually. Fighter to shoot down the enemy fighter. We'll deal with the tanks. And supply. One. So just a little bit of metal for a scholar. University Temple and Market are all built here, as well as there's a logging camp, so lumber mill. Need to raise my commerce cap. city. Has to be inside your borders. It's easy to forget. Huh. Fending off these constant incursions is getting me, well, let's bomb that aluminum merchant. Seems to be able to garrison here, but I don't think it heals here, or not very efficiently. Send the tanks to deal with the aluminum merchant then. Since that's making the aircraft cheaper. Alright, and back into friendly territory. Presidente. Providing healing to these slightly damaged units. Just finished this. Perfect time. Dock. Turns wood into wealth. Might, well, I don't know if there's anything here. This body of water, but even if there's no fish, I can put a naval unit here. Oh, and I can get upgrades. There's almost certainly fish in this water. And oil. So it's not useless. It's been a while since anti-tank missiles. More assault infantry. More armored cavalry. Tank. Precision weapons requires more knowledge than I have manually. All this wealth. Running out of oil. Definitely time for an oil well. Wait a second, aircraft carrier carries 7 fighter bomber aircraft? 7? That's pretty nice. And advanced battleship. Can do short bombardment. As soon as I have the oil. Let's go to market. Surprising, using all these resources. Information age has a million ways to spend resources. Vassalage. More tax income. Excuse me. Temple time. Yeah, caravans. Mercy with a little room for farms there eventually. Bombardment. So the scholar sits doing nothing until I mill, so then should be cutting. Rebuilding gets me a little bit of an anti-aircraft gun just in case. Scramble all fighters. Oh, it's shot down already. Really want to destroy this. Draft a couple woodcutters to do that. Ah, precision weapons. To raise my pop cap. Dock units includes an aircraft carrier, which, yeah, but it's nearly double my oil. I'm better off with it. Bunker way up there. Caravan. That's getting done. A greenery. Increase my commerce cap before too long. I need to send someone to repair this. This is taking forever. Capitalism is because this game, like many, makes it ludicrously more powerful than any other system. Disagree that's accurate in real life, but can't argue it being powerful in the game. They're just gonna keep doing this. Some anti-aircraft guns and aircraft missiles. Yeah. No. I need rocket artillery. I am producing a ton of those, and they seem to be doing me good. I shouldn't worry about so much about oil, like metal and such. Of course, I'm close to hitting metal cap, and I seem to be running out of it. That's why socialism may be better. So I can keep replacing loss of tanks. And I'll last the enemy who's got to be hitting scaling costs for their own units by now. Oops. least give you a little food when you build them. So I'll get the farms built. Is that oil? No, it's not. And these civilians were killed by yet another air raid. These guys are getting shot. What the frickin' anti-aircraft guns? Sure you can. There we go. Yeah, soon I'm gonna run out of oil for replacing losses. Do that because it's easier on the oil and the tanks, but barracks just in case of a raid here. Alright, capital because the oil. I have to double my oil income, so even if I would otherwise save a quarter on outlays of oil. Hey, at least it's cynical about capitalism. It would be useful mainly for oil. God, lost a number of jet fighters. Of course I did. This is turning into a war of attrition. At least I know I can win that. Aircraft, probably the main dangerous city. And many others for that matter. Science, astrophysics. That's more upgrades. Trench, at least some of the infantry. Doesn't work anything else. You need to go back and heal. You can actually see the entrenchment work this time. Keep repairing these buildings. They keep getting shot up to heck by aircraft, among other things. That's a bad place. That should be further forward. Anyways. Astrophysics. Social contract level 5 civics. So I should progress towards that. Start public opinion. Do one more trade route. That's the library. Keep selecting it. Coal casting, engineering, pharmaceuticals. Scientific method, I'm not sure. Just realized this has been going on for 2 hours and 14 minutes, this video, so I'm gonna have to cut this to make it, manageable for you folks. Do apologize that it's gone on so bloody long. It's not my intent to bore you to death. Advances, oh yeah, now I have my benefits, my wonders, because I reach level 4. Which should increase my commerce cap. From the wonder I have. Yep, up to 470. Much more metal. Scientific method, filled the remaining universities with scholars. No, can't quite fill them. MDC at each, whatever. Let's save this, and I think I can win it. Assuming the AI is subject to the same scaling unit costs I am, they'll have a harder and harder time replacing losses, whereas I get wealth every time I shoot down with aircraft or whatnot, or destroy any other attack units. Viewers, I wish you all the best. Take care of each other. Be kind to yourselves. And may you always find a guiding star to lead you home.